Finishing the night with 33-11 as the Celtics. They get this win 110-100, the final. Welcome into Celtics Postgame Live. Here are our Cowboys. We got Eddie House. We got Chris Forsberg here with you. Caleb Burton as well. Even though Cooper Flagg was doing anything and everything he could to try to put the Mavs over the edge, JB, Chris took control to the finish line. What'd you like most out of his game here tonight?
Future Celtic Cooper Flagg can wait till later, because right now, Jaylen Brown, that's why we had to bust out the championship hats. Because Jaylen Brown is still the mayor of Dallas with the way that he dominates that team, especially in that building. Peyton Pritchard busted out the buzzer beaters, but what I love most was that Peyton got sent to the bench, or I don't even know if sent is the right word, but agreed to go there as the Celtics kind of figure things out in the aftermath of the Anthony Simons trade, and goes out there and thrives. We're going to have to come up with something. We don't have the Inferno anymore, so what is it going to be when Peyton Pritchard goes nuts?
We got to think on that one. I can't just come off the
He's got all the nicknames, so it's
I know.
a little spicy.
So we're going to have to work on something that works with Peyton, because he was fantastic, set a tone, seemed motivated from whether it was the bench or the Caitlin Clark thing or whatever was going on. Peyton was awesome in this game, and just nice to see the Celtics go down there and take care of business.
Yeah, ain't no question about that. And JB, I think he set the tone in both first quarters of each half. The first quarter he had 15. In the third quarter he had 8. So 23 of his 33 came in the beginning stages of the halves. And I think that he set the tone. He went out there and almost like, I felt like he took it personal, but like Cooper Flagg didn't back down. Let's give him a lot of credit as well, because he wasn't scared out there. Yeah. He's a youngster. He's the same age as my twins. And he didn't back down. He held his own out there. He looked like, not only we already know he a guy that belongs and things like that, but he looked like a franchise player tonight against the Celtics. But JB set the tone for sure. I
was going to say, I did like JB on that first play of the game. Went right, picked up Cooper Flagg from the jump, got the steal, the layup. That sort of set a tone for the night that, all right, young fella, you're going to have to work for your points.
It was a dunk, not a layup. It was a dunk. It was a soft dunk, but still.
And credit to Cooper Flagg, though, because even after that steal very early in the game, Cooper Flagg still 36, 9, 6 assists. His third most points so far in the NBA just as a rookie alone. I mean, he's been unbelievable. But other guys also, besides Jaylen Brown stepping up tonight with all the news, we know the trade deadline is still less than 48 hours, almost 24 hours away, Thursday at 3 p.m. So I was curious to see what the front court, specifically Neemias Queta, specifically Luka Garza, how would they do here tonight? And Luka Garza 16-4. He's standing by with Abby Chen.
You start this Texas two-step out with a win. You personally, a perfect 4 for 4 from 3, the best shooting big man in the NBA right now. How confident are you in that shot?
I'm confident. I put a lot of work in. Trust God. I know the work's going to show, and every time I get a chance, I'm going to try to knock it down.
How do the hustle plays fit into that in your game?
Yeah, that's just been me since I was a little kid. I know those little plays make all the difference in a game, and especially a big game like this. So I just try to make all the little plays I can.
Jaylen Brown, another 30-point game for him, but Peyton Pritchard also huge tonight, coming off the bench. What kind of message does that send to this group about doing whatever it takes to win?
Yeah, everyone's role is going to change at different points, of the season. That's just how it goes. And, for him to just come out here with the attitude he did, to come out and show what he can do, and especially in that role. And, obviously he's done it before. He's been the best in the league at it. So it was nothing new for Pete.
And then defensively, what have you guys found here, holding for the last 5 opponents to 100 points or less?
I think we're just playing hard, man. I think that's one thing that kind of separates defenses in general, is just the effort that you put in on each possession. Through the course of the game, there's a lot of teams allow some plays to happen and teams to get rhythm and momentum. And for us, we just try to keep their guys as frustrated as we can. Flagg, it was tough to keep him frustrated tonight, but we did a good job on everybody else.
Good, thank you. Congratulations.
Sure, appreciate it.
We'll see you in Houston.
Yes, you will. All right, Luka Garza there, Drew and Scal here. And guys, I thought it was really interesting what Garza said with the trade deadline, with the trade that already reportedly is happening between the Inferno. But to hear Garza say, hey, everyone's role will change. That's part of basketball. It's part of the business. But one thing, Drew, you mentioned in the broadcast was back when Peyton Pritchard talked about it on media day, saying, I'm the spark off the bench, on the court, whether I'm starting, whether I'm coming off the bench. When my feet touch the floor, I'm the spark, and he showed that here tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. Peyton Pritchard can do it no matter what the role is. And I feel like, early on in the season, Scal, we saw him adjusting to that starting role. And there were times where he had a quiet game, and then he always responded with a great game.
Yeah.
Whatever the circumstances, whether it's, he's tired, he's on a back-to-back, he's coming off a quiet game, or he's moved back to the bench role, he always responds in a positive way.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm not going to make a overreaction to what happened today, but I do think that this is a role for him, because I like Pritchard in attack mode all the time. So if the idea is you're going to come off the bench and the ball's going to be in your hands and you're going to make plays, great. That's like the perfect timing, because Jaylen Brown started this game and he was great. Picked up Cooper Flagg, got the dunk, but then Peyton Pritchard comes in, and that 1-2 punch could be demoralizing for teams. So it's a small sample size, one game, but I'm looking forward to the next time Peyton Pritchard comes off the bench and see if he can bring that same energy.
Yeah, first time he touched the ball, he got in the paint, spin move right to the basket, and he finished. It was part of a dynamic first quarter from Peyton Pritchard. I mean, if you can have the NBA version of Caitlin Clark coming off the bench, you might as well use it, right?
Oh, you got to go there, man.
She was in the house tonight. Oh, that's a good comparison. But obviously, the first part of that 1-2 punch was Jaylen Brown, who, again, was excellent. Do you feel like he had an extra gear because, he knew that everyone was talking about Cooper Flagg against the Celtics? You feel like he had more tonight?
You know what? Someone do me a favor and just, go through his buckets, right? And as a player, usually guys could score, 5, maybe 3 to 7 different ways. I got a chance to go against Kobe, and he could score 50 different ways, right? Just go watch the different ways that Jaylen Brown scored today, and all the different ways that he read the defense, read the opponents, read our own guys, read the screen, and pulled up. It was awesome, and I think he is, when it comes to a scorer, as good as any player in the league, because he's a complete player. It doesn't really matter what you do. He has an answer for that. And those two plays in transition, and they were both with Cooper Flagg running down, trying to block his shot. He had one where he pulled up and he just floated in the air. And the next one turned on the gas and went high backboard, just out in the outstretched arms of Flagg. That's just processing this game at such a high level. And I think he's playing the best basketball of his career. And we could start 3, 2, 1, bad luck ladder as it goes right by. And we can start looking at that as look at Jaylen Brown as one of the best scorers of this league.
Yeah, and he got that Player of the Month award, which probably felt was a month overdue. I think he could have won it after December, but he wins it for January. And then just real quick on the way out, Scal, you said Jaylen Brown floating. Were you floating watching your protege, Cooper Flagg, up close like this? I mean, he's really good.
Man, I knew when he was 14 years old that he was going to be here. I didn't know he would be this good, but it's like watching him play. It's the same player, just doing it on a different level. He's not the way that he played then, and the way that he made the passes, and the way that he plays through contact, that hasn't changed at all. It's just the higher level. And I've watched him at Mount Vernon, I've watched him at Duke, and now I'm watching him here, and it's the same thing. It's going to be really interesting. I'll say with him, he's a legacy player. Those guys are going to be judged based on their banners. I think they got one here, right? It's how many banners can you put up in the rafters? That's how Cooper Flagg will be judged, and that's the ultimate compliment.
Yeah, they've got a street named after Dirk. They've got a statue outside. His logo's on the floor, as you saw during the broadcast. Maybe Cooper Flagg could be next in line. Watching him up close in person, Kayla, the way he controls the game is very, very impressive. For the youngest player in the league, bright future for him, but not enough Flagg tonight. Celtics win.
Yeah, I discovered Kayla's sister, Veronica, and Cooper Flagg.
Pretty good.
2 for 2.
You discovered him back in 2006, December 21st, right when he was born. Scal, you knew. I wish you could have discovered that for me. I would have been balling out there with him, but unfortunately my story is a little bit different.
Delivered the
job.
baby. I knew it.
Yeah. Shout out Veronica. Shout out Cooper. Again, we talked about it in the previous block. His 27, 30-plus point game. I mean, 33 points, 15 of 29 on shooting. Eddie, it's silly at this point to say, oh my gosh, Jaylen's amazing, because we just know what he is. But I kind of like that matchup, even against a rookie like Cooper Flagg, to let him know early, hey, welcome to the league. I know you're good. I know you're balling. I know you've been hooping. I know you're the talk. But I'm going to take over early. And JB did that from start to finish.
Yeah, I like the way he set the tone. He had the 15 in the first quarter. He had the 8 in the third. Finishes with 33. But again, just like the last game we were talking about, more impressive is the 11 rebounds, being active on the glass, making sure we close out the possession, the defensive possession with a rebound, and just being locked in. And he only had 3 turnovers. And so when you look at those things right there, you know, he has the ball in his hands a lot. And to only have 3 turnovers and to be playing 37 minutes with the 11 rebounds, with the 33 points, I thought he was fantastic tonight, setting the tone for this team, and other guys follow suit.
Yeah, and you remember back in the 24 finals, it was seeing Luka on the other side. Jaylen wanted that challenge. He wanted to set the tone defensively, kind of let that fuel him with his offense. And it felt the same way tonight. Like, I don't think, he wanted to go out there and go head-to-head with a guy like Cooper, and then just kind of imposed his will on the offensive end, got wherever he wanted. As Scal said, like, every bucket was different, but the ability to float around the basket, to stop on a dime like that. JB's been deep in his bag. Like I said, they got to present him with like a key to the city or something, because he right now just owns Dallas.
Good way to put it. I'm curious to know, not that I don't believe JB's style of game will change at all with a new look at the Celtics, with Vucevic now being a part of this team. But Eddie, let's say JT does come back this season. Let's say Vucevic is now in the rotation, whether it be off the bench or in the starting lineup. Does that affect JB in a positive way, negative way? Would you foresee anything with the change?
I don't think so, because you got to remember when JT was here and we won the championship, you know, Porzingis was there. We had Al Horford that had to get shots. We had Derek White getting shots. Peyton